So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be setting you up for an EEG. Now, we're playing around. I don't do this with people, but I'm just showing people how your brainwaves will actually affect you, and that everything starts from the brain. So what we're going to do is when I set you up, we're going to put on 2 grounds, or basically loops, for the ears, and then one on the top, and that one's going to actually be able to read the brain waves.
Okay.
So that's going to be the EEG. The frequency we're going to put you into is the one where you literally keep ruminating on something. It's the rumination frequency, and that's what causes a lot of disease in a lot of people.
Yeah,
and that's 22 to 25 hertz, and that's where a lot of issues come in. So right now we'll get you ready, okay?
Okay.
So what we're going to do first is we're going to make sure the probes have good, clean points. So what we do is we have alcohol wipes, and we have a thing called Neoprep, and what this is a gel that is a light abrasive, and what it does is we'll take all the grease off of the ear and as well as the head. So we'll start with the ear. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And we're going to do the other one. There we go. Now, since we're doing this and showing people how everything's working, we're going to actually do CZ, which is the point right in the top of the head.
Okay.
So we go midline from temple to temple, and from the middle, and we're going to put it right here. And this is where the sensory motor strip actually hangs out. Now the nice thing about you is your hair is already parted.
Mm-hmm.
What this is cleaning up the area so that when we do apply probes, you don't have any issues with grease or any problems with that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get the body all rocking and rolling. So the first probe that we're going to put on is one of the ear clips, and this is 1020 conductive paste, and we put it on the probes so that we get an optimal conductance. This machine I'm actually using is research grade machine. It's actually used by Harvard, Stanford. It's by Thought Technology, and it is the highest grade EEG machine and product in the actual world. So there's only a couple places that make it, and the best one is actually this one made by Thought Technology. So when we come in here, we apply the paste. Good, are you okay?
Yep.
Excellent. So that's one of the probes. Now we're going to put the other one on. There we go. Right. Good. All right. Those two are usually the easiest to apply. Now this last one is the one that gets a lot of the waves. Can you pass me that? This one is at the CZ point. This one actually hooks up and will do the reading of the brain, do the EEG waves itself. So we get a nice little piece of it. I'm going to have you switch over, because we usually have you in the chair, but do this one the same as you. Now, what we're going to do, now are you going to be able to rotate to see the TV, or to see the...
I can see it from right here, is that
Yeah,
appropriate?
that'll, as long as you can see the screen. Will that work? Okay. Excellent. So what we're going to do now, it's called checking impedance. So it's to make sure that the battery level is full, so we're checking that. Next we're checking the impedance level. So what we're going to do, I'm going to put the machine in impedance mode. Good. All right, so this is letting me know the impedance of how it's actually working. And the blue probe that I have on the top right now Not playing nice, I think it's about, oh, no, that's because it's the wrong one. Good. So the one where we're using, because I have a dual probe EEG lead here, so what we're looking at is the impedance, so how it's actually communicating in the conductance. So right now we're in the green, so we're happy. Everything's green, we got 1, 1, and 4, so we're happy and ready to rock and roll. So what we're gonna do now is take it off of impedance mode. Now we're gonna close her out. Now we're ready to rock and roll. So what we're training is 22 to 25 hertz. This is that literally you get stuck in that, you can't stop thinking of something, this happened, this happened, this happened. You just keep going in that cycle, that cyclical manner, and just can't get that thought out of your head. That's uber stress. And we're gonna put her in that mode and we're gonna see how her body reacts. If she's very reactive, we'll see a lot of symptoms start coming out right away. So let's rock and roll. So all you gotta do is you wanna keep the middle bar high and these 2 bars low.
Okay.
And what we're gonna do is when the balloons move, it means you're doing what's right. Now, the reason why it's gonna take a while for her to get it right is I'm training her to be stressed. So the inhibition, which is 1 hertz to 22, literally takes all the relaxation out. And then the higher ones, which I inhibited, which were between 25 and 40, is the higher beta. So we're literally training her to be in stress mode. So it may take a while for her body to actually get to the point where it will stay in that stress. So what we're doing now is we're doing a biofeedback and a neurofeedback to basically train her brain to be in stress mode, which is that frequency for her we're actually putting in is 22 to 25 hertz. And this is to show that when your body isn't working correctly and you're stuck in that resonating frequency, you'll get sick. Now what's going on is whenever she gets to the frequency we want, the screen will move and noise will be made. And that will actually give her the feedback and the brain will be happy and try to do what you're giving it to do. So subconsciously you're doing this. This isn't anything conscious you can do. And that's what most people aren't aware of, is that the frequency your brain is in determines how healthy your body is going to be. Now you see how the yellow line is dropping in the middle? Because the machine is learning that she can't deal with it right now, so it's actually lowering the grade to which she has to get it right. And then as she gets it better, it will raise it. And the goal is to keep the 2 inhibited ones low and the one that we want to stimulate high. Now this is one, we have other ones where we can inhibit multiples and stimulate multiples, so it's all brain dependent. And based on the scan that we do, it'll tell me what we want to increase and what we want to decrease. So we can actually train your brain to be in the frequencies it needs to be in. Hear the music cutting in and out is because the 2 inhibitory ones that she's doing are actually going above what they want it to do, and the one that she's supposed to get rewarded is not high enough. So when they all go, the 2 inhibitory ones are higher and the one that we want the reward for is high, then you actually get the feedback that you want. And you still have that shoulder discomfort?
Mm-hmm.
Is it getting worse?
It's spreading. Yeah,
Yeah.
my shoulder is quite tight.
Now, did you notice how that spiked? That's because what happened there, when I spoke to her, she had to engage beta at a higher frequency, and that's why it spiked and the machine turned off. So when I'm talking right now, you'll notice that she'll be inhibited. When I shut up, it'll change because then her brain will take back over. Now, Kelsey, are you feeling some stress?
It's more physical than anything else.
Yeah. But are you trying, you've done a lot of techniques to learn how to relax, right?
Yeah.
Because what I'm noticing is, because of that, I can see that subconsciously your brain is trying to relax. 21 to 1, that's where healing happens. That's where the lower lower betas are, which will heal you, which is 12 to 14, but 12 to 15, but also this is where alpha and theta is, and that's where healing happens. So what's happened is because you're doing so much better, it's lowering the wave here and lowering this one and increasing this, so it's easier for you to achieve. But you can physically feel it getting worse?
Yeah, my back is quite tight, and I could feel even behind my right eye, it felt like I was starting to get a headache.
Okay. So you're starting to get a headache?
I feel like pressure behind my eyes.
So you got pressure behind your eyes, and is that a normal thing you would get for a headache?
Yes, tends to be. Almost like the dehydration headache feeling.
Okay, so you got pressure behind the eyes and neck. Tell me when it gets to the point where you can 100% feel it, where we're feeling the pressure and we're feeling the neck, and it's no question, and then that's where we'll stop and then retrain you the other way.
Okay.
The cool thing is the brain always wants to learn, so we're training it to stay in a frequency, so it's learning to do that. Now, we don't do this to patients. This is just to show you what's possible when you change the brain.
I can tell that I'm holding my body tighter too. Every once in a while, when I think about it, I realize I've hunched my shoulders.
Okay.
I notice my breathing has gotten a lot shallower too,
Yeah?
without thinking about it.
You breathing from your shoulders more now?
Yeah, very
That's
shallow
that's a
breathing.
sympathetic response, yeah. That's a stress response. So overall, how we at? We got pressure behind the eyes, we got shallow breathing, tight neck.
Yep, my
that-
neck and shoulder, and it's
Now, would you say that's because of the brain, or do you feel like that's anything else?
the pressure behind the eyes is definitely not from anything else, and the back. I thought at first maybe it could be from sitting on the chair,
Mm-hmm.
but then I noticed that I was hunching my shoulders up, and the breathing shallow was not.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'd go with this is all related to your brain being in stress mode.
Yes.
All right, are you good to get changed now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to reward you for a different frequency now. So we're going to reward you. We're going to reward you for 8 to 15 hertz. Now, 12 to 15 is SMR, and that's how you defrag your brain. And 8 to 12 is alpha, and that's conscious relaxation. So we're going to reward you for that. Then what we're going to do, we're going to inhibit you falling asleep. So that would be theta and delta. So we're going to inhibit 1 to 7.9. And then we're going to also inhibit any frequency, any high beta or that stress state, 16 or above. And then as you change, just let us know how you feel the differences.
Okay.
Now you notice how we're not hearing anything? Yeah, there we go, we're doing better for a while. And this is because our brain has to relearn how to get into the right frequency. This is usually easier. The brain doesn't like being in that high stress mode, so it's usually easier for it to relax. Especially if you've done any work, training yourself how to meditate and different things like this. If you want to learn how to meditate like a guru, literally with this biofeedback we do here, right, we can train you to go right into alpha or theta states. And with one biofeedback session, it's equivalent to years of meditation. The other cool thing is we can take people, so conscious relaxation is that when the brain is nice and relaxed, and that's like the tiger who's just about to pounce, and That's when you really start getting conceptual development in different things in alpha and theta states. And you can literally take people and put them in this, and then take them to get them to take tests, and then they'll be able to remember things better because it'll train their brain to relax and recall things. Because if you've ever had those tests where you study all night and then try to take the test and you can't remember anything, it's because you're stuck in that reverberation frequency and your body can't relax. Now if you notice on the screen, the red bar, that's the lower frequency. I inhibited theta and delta. Those are the sleepy ones. The middle one is alpha, and the low beta, which is called SMR, and that's where healing happens. And the tall one on the right that won't keep going down, it keeps staying high, that's the one we just stimulated. And that's why we're not seeing that orange one variate very much, or when it does, that's what we're trying to train down. So that's that stress mode we're actually training down.
The pressure behind my eye has completely gone away. I noticed my breathing got deeper, and my shoulders are relaxing.
Nice. So it's a lot easier for you to heal when you're in that relaxation state. Now the problem that people run into is they've trained themselves to be stressed for so long that if they don't stay in that stress state, their body can't heal. Or not, it won't heal, I mean, it can't heal because it's in that stress state. And when you take them down to this, like if I did this right away on somebody, they would freak out because their body's actually in such a defense mode that they can't relax. So when we train them, what we have to do is train them to get out of defense mode and then change the brain frequency. Because if we change the brain frequency right away, a lot of people will get very angry because their body says, no, we're being attacked, I gotta be in defense mode. So you have to actually change the physiology so the brain goes, okay, we're allowed to calm down, and then you can change the brain. The other real cool thing is what's been shown on EEG readings is when you adjust somebody, you will take them right out of beta and put them into alpha, and that's with a chiropractic adjustment. That's why the chiropractic adjustment is so powerful, that it takes people out of stress and milliseconds puts them right into relaxation. Then when you pair the chiropractic adjustment with bio and neurofeedback, you cause miracles in people's lives. And so when you hear people say things like, well, how can a chiropractor help with diabetes or heart disease or cancer or any big disease, the answer is we each help you change your brain, and then your brain heals your body. We don't actually treat the symptom, we train the brain, so where the upregulation or the stress is coming from, and when you change the frequency to go into relaxation, your body will get rid of the issues itself. What kind of changes are you seeing now, Ms. Kelsey?
It's almost hard to focus on the screen. I find myself almost looking through it so that I get the double image because my eyes don't, they're relaxed enough that they don't want to focus on the images.
Okay, so you don't have that pressure behind the eyes anymore?
Not at all.
No? How are the shoulders doing?
Very relaxed, and it's gone all the way down. I don't feel any stress in my back at all.
And how's the stomach breathing?
It's a lot deeper. It took a little bit longer, but yes, I noticed that my breathing has gotten a lot deeper.
Okay, excellent. Is there anything else you noticed that's changed?
I almost got to the point where I couldn't feel my hands. It's like they're just kind of floppy on the end of my wrist.
So you're feeling really relaxed
yes.
right now. All right. Do you want to keep going, or are you good?
It's up to you. This is, I'm good.
It's right now we're just, as long as all your stuff's gone, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Now what we're doing is actually training you to stay in that relaxed state. So this is what we actually do with people, is we don't want to take them to stress. We want to bring them right into that relaxed state. So that relaxed state is the key to having the client heal at 100%. That's the ultimate goal. So when we train you to stay in those specific frequencies of healing of alpha and SMR, then we get those changes like what Ms. Kelsey is talking about and more. So right now I'm cleaning the probes, but I have a question. Did you have any ideas or any, like a lot of people are skeptical. So what was your experience of what you did when you were going through the test?
Right, so I know that I've had problems with my shoulder, so I thought maybe at first, the first thing that showed up was tightness throughout the shoulder going up through my neck, and I thought it was just from sitting on the chair and sitting slightly slouched over. But then when he put on the relaxation part of it, it went completely away, and my shoulder feels really nice now, actually.
Nice and relaxed. How about the eyes?
That went away immediately too, and that I hadn't thought about it, but I've noticed that when I go to stress, I tend to get the headache that comes up. And when I was in stress, that showed up second, and I thought, I thought for a second I could have been imagining it, but then I noticed a pressure behind my right eye that started to turn into a full light headache in front of my head. And then when you turned the relaxation on, that went away very quickly. That went away within 30 seconds.
Awesome, awesome. It's always cool to see how quick you guys adapt.
Yeah.
You're adaptive. So the big key and big takeaway from this is that the brain causes all disease and dysfunction. The inability for the body to adapt because the brain has caused a faulty neural pathway or a faulty adaptive process is what's causing the dysfunction in the body. The knee problem is not because you tweaked your knee unless you hit it on something really bad. The chronic knee, low back, bowel, reproductive issues, high blood pressure, all of these problems that plague society, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistant, as we saw on another clip about how stress affects you, is that stress and being stuck in that high beta function. When we take you out of that, your body heals it naturally. So all we have to do is get you into the right alpha and theta and SMR frequencies, and your body will heal yourself. And that's what we just saw today, where Kelsey came in, she all of a sudden started getting feelings of headaches, eye pressure, tight neck, was breathing from her upper shoulders. This is all defense posture. And we took her down and put her into relaxation, then her hands relaxed, her eyes relaxed, the pressure was gone. So if we treat the symptom, we're not getting to the cause, and the cause is the inability for the brain to adapt. And I've done this, and we've done this on hundreds of people, and it's always the same. If you put them in stress, they'll get sick. If you take them out, they heal. And that's why we know stress kills, but that's actually a misnomer. It's not stress, it's the inability to adapt to stress that kills you. So what we do is we train you to deal with stress, and then you can go through life and not have problems. Thank you.